Imagine a world where your cultural identity is both celebrated and condemned. A world where the roots of your culture are ignored, its essence commodified, and yet its people are still vilified. A world where a culture of people can both be glorified and idolized, while the people of said culture are both condemned and disparaged. Well, you don't have to look far because that is exactly what K-pop is. Because by commodifying and misrepresenting elements of Black culture through cultural appropriation, the K-pop industry perpetrates damaging racial stereotypes harmful to the Black community. K-pop uses Black culture to gain better marketability, while also continuously shames and disrespects it. Now, what exactly is cultural appropriation? Well, it refers to the use of elements of one culture by members of another culture in a way that is perceived as unacknowledged or inappropriate. In this instance, the term refers to Black culture, for example, hairstyles, stereotypical accents, clothing, and even cultural music and beats being taken out of its place of origin, the Black community, and irresponsibly injected into the K-pop industry. The reason why cultural appropriation is bad is because it leads people to devalue the cultural origin and its people. Furthermore, it can perpetrate stereotypes and negatively impact how people view Black people, and even more, how Black people view themselves.
개인기가 뭐냐면요, 흑인 영어래요. 어떻게 하는 거예요? 보여주세요.
Sorry, his beats is cold and then rap monks.
뭐야? 비슷해요. 제 피부가 되게 검해 보이는 이상해. 우와.
K-pop incorporates elements of Black culture similar to how a sandwich incorporates bread. As in, no matter what you mix together inside of it, Black culture is the base of it. K-pop has been taking from Black culture since the beginning of time. Let's rewind back to Sotajin Boys, the first ever K-pop stars, aka the pioneers of K-pop, who debuted in 1992. From the swag, to the hair, to even sometimes the skin color, it's very clear where exactly they got this inspiration from for this type of music. K-pop has a very, very long history of taking these cultural facets and using them to mimic what they believe to be trendy and popular at the time. Like the Bubble Sisters' disturbing case of minstrel blackface in 2003, NCT 127 wearing cornrows and braids in 2017, blackface still being done again in 2017 by Mamamoo, and another case of cornrows from Hongjoong of ATEEZ in 2020. This is only a few cases out of honestly hundreds when taking into account K-hip-hop, a subgenre of K-pop where saying derogatory racist terms is seen as a cool kid factor to make someone legit. And the fact that in general, Black skin was and is seen as an ugly kind of joke in Korean beauty standards and general media.
브리더 계급의 메인 댄서를 발표하겠습니다.
그냥 너무 솔직히 말해서 억울했어요, 많이. 저 사람 노력을 안 하는 것처럼 보이고 그냥 이제 정말 피지컬로 승부하는구나 라고 생각이 들어가지고 정말 이 악물고 있거든요. 너무 하고 싶어서.
Honestly, I knew she was my rival, but hearing this, my thoughts have changed.
Now you may be like, Haley, it's 2024. Why are you bringing all this stuff up now? Haven't we progressed past this? Well, no, we haven't actually, because it still continues to happen. For example, Hyunsuk from Treasure, again for the 100th time at this point, using a Black cultural hairstyle and only getting a slap on the wrist to just do it again in the future. This is because K-pop stars and companies are never truly held accountable for their actions, therefore having no reason to change their disrespectful behavior. So, what is the issue? The issue is us. I'm being so for real now. It's us, both Korean and international K-pop stans who, no matter what, still shell out money to these artists and companies no matter what they do. Of course, they're not going to care because their streams are still high, the awards are still there, and the money is still flowing into their pockets. Cultural appropriation has been so normalized in not only Korea, but internationally in regard to K-pop, that nobody seems to care enough to actually do something meaningful about it. Or more so, people overvalue and obsess over their idols so much that they can't get themselves to care more about the larger issue at hand, over, for example, streaming and listening to the latest comeback. Don't get me wrong now, K-pop stans can protest, but usually it's over the smallest things. For example, dating rumors, for haircuts, even for having backup dancers of the opposite sex. Yes, I'm looking at you, Engine. Yet when it comes to the disrespect of a whole culture, radio silence. So make it make sense for me. Please. I'm waiting. It doesn't. What needs to happen is for people to finally start valuing Black people and their culture, because without us, yes, us, me included, the K-pop you know today would not even exist. Now, some people may argue that they're Korean, they don't understand the implications and nuance of cultural theft, but that is not a solid argument, because as Stitch from Stitch's Media Mix says, the internet does indeed exist. If these idols can stay updated on the newest global and Western trends and internet slang, then they know what cultural appropriation is. Again, they have phones. Even Kiho from P1 Harmony has openly acknowledged the importance of being educated on cultural appropriation and how it is discussed within the group and company. So yeah, these companies do know, a lot of them just don't care. It has even been brought up directly to idols, but they again just deflect it. For example, when Henry from Wavy disrespected Jamaican culture by wearing twists along with a cultural headband, and then completely ignored it when a fan brought it up over video call.
There are a lot of people who heard creation.
Yeah, let's keep about discussion.
Okay. I love you.
Yes.
Because again, at the end of the day, they're making their money and not losing a thing from this. So, how do we change this? Well, obviously, they won't start caring until we start caring as a community. We can boycott, send protest trucks, host smear campaigns, and go above and beyond for every other small issue and change that we want to see in the K-pop industry, except when it comes to cultural appropriation. So let's change that starting now and start valuing the culture that K-pop is built upon. So in the end, we can just foster a happier and safer environment for all races and cultures alike. Thank you, and this has been Haley.